Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Monday, October 29th, 2018. The news story this morning, a North Carolina high school shooting, which comes on the back of a synagogue shooting, which comes on the back of a mail bomber. And that comes on the back of all the other stories we've been bombarded with in recent times. The news moves at an ever increasing pace. And I've used that quote many times before about the United States of amnesia. Nobody can remember anything past Monday. Gore Vidal said that many years ago. The USA is the United States of amnesia because nobody can remember anything past Monday. And this is the reason why, because we are just information overload in our society. Now that this high school shooting happened this morning, it was a quick blurb early in the morning, and now it's pretty much an afterthought. They're back on the synagogue shooting. But I just want to show you what jumped out right away about this news. Today, date was 77 numerology. What's the focus at the start of the day? North Carolina, where there's a school shooting. Every single day, if you're able to decode the date into numbers, the numerology of the date, and you learn the base ciphers for GEmatria, you can see how the news is contrived every single day by a code. This code right here, letters and numbers. Date numerology is 77, North Carolina is 77. Other things that sum to 77 in the base ciphers are police department, police officer, secret society, power. Another is United States, the nation's capital on the 77th meridian, a federal agenda to terrorize and take away liberties in America, including gun rights. The name of this high school where this happened, Butler High School, also GEmatria of 83 and 79, the numbers of murder. You can look up that song, Murder by Numbers, that came out by the band The Police in 83. Some interesting things about the name of the police spokesperson, but we're just going to leave it here. This is the main point about the North Carolina shooting. Perfect date for it. Also, last night, briefly talked about this, just real quick. Another thing that's in the subheadlines now, this plane crash in Indonesia. I noticed this morning they've increased the count by one. It's now 189, but when the news first broke, it was that this plane of 188 passengers crashed 13 minutes after taking off. And if you're new here, we've been talking about 13 and 188 in a whole lot of different ways, especially with regards to US dollar bills. But the thing about 13 and 188 is the Bavarian Illuminati, where Bavarian Illuminati equals 188, was established with 13 families in the year 1776, emphasis on 76. This story came on a date with 76 numerology over here in the United States. Airplane also has the GEmatria of 76. Just in case you're new here, the reason this matters on our dollar bills, think about the $1 bill with the pyramid with the 13 layers of bricks. If you add up the US dollar bill denominations, the 1, the 2, the 5, the 10, the 20, the 50, the 100, sums to 188. And the dollar bills, all full of Illuminati symbolism. Now, here's a real joker. You've probably seen this guy in the news, Rabbi Jeffrey Myers, who says he survived the terrible shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue. This guy's just a painful liar. He's a horrible actor. He's not comfortable in front of the camera. Anyone who has a basic understanding of psychology can see this guy's lying. There's no emotion. He's looking all over the place. He seems nervous. He seems anxious. If he just witnessed this horrible tragedy, he should be in a place of total sorrow, and that should come through in his body language. Doesn't come through at all. Talks as if he's reading a script off the teleprompter, which he is. And he is. You have to be blind to listen to this guy and think that he just witnessed some horrible tragedy. He did not. He's selling out the people. He's growing that Pinocchio nose. This guy's name also gave me a kick. Rabbi Jeffrey Myers. What's it sum to? 187, like the number of chapters in the Torah where the code of letters and numbers comes from. Big number to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Very special number here, 187, coded into this man's name. Also a number that's associated with death. Many police departments use 187 as the homicide code. Fraternal Order of Police in GEmatria equals 187. His name also sums to 88, like Jewish. Not an accident. His name also sums to 101, like Tree of Life. All numbers we've already covered in this shooting before this guy's name was even out. All of these numbers were already encoded in the shooting. Now they're encoded in the rabbi who supposedly was there to witness it all. So if you see this man on TV, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Obviously dishonest. His name also, Rabbi Myers. Some news sources just reported him as Rabbi Myers, sums to 112, like Zionist in Judaism. Again, the Balfour Declaration, the document drawn up during the time of World War I about creating the Zionist state of Israel. That document dated November 2nd, 11/2. Big numbers here with the Zionist 112. This is a Zionist agenda. This is a Zionist-controlled media and government that we all live under across the world. Myers also has the GEmatria 55, like Satan, as in synagogue of Satan, and like how this shooting happened on a date with 55 numerology. We'll recover these points. 114 is also the same as synagogue, so is 39. We're going to end up talking about how this shooting came 39 days after the Masontown shooting. Masonry 39, Masonry based in the 39 books of the Old Testament, which the Jews go by. So get this, at the same time this shooting was supposedly happening in Pennsylvania, in the county of Lackawanna, they were having one of the largest active shooter drills of all time. This also in Pennsylvania. Same time as the synagogue shooting, at the exact moment, one of the biggest active shooter drills in Pennsylvania state history. What are the odds? And again, it reminds me of Sandy Hook. We were just talking about the 1112 number. I'm just going to pull up the GEmatria calculator here. Everyone can look this up. They reported Adam Lanza, the Sandy Hook shooter, as being 112 pounds. You can look up his birthday. It's April 22nd, the 112th day of the year. Zionist 112, Judaism 112, theater 112, being controlled with staged theater. Hold on, I just got off on a tangent. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say about Sandy Hook. Sorry, lost my train of thought for 1 second. Sandy Hook, go back and look at what the news did after the shooting. They apologized to people for showing you footage of an active shooter drill that was going on 15 miles away at a different school that was closed for the winter holiday. Remember, it happened right before winter break, December 2012. The Sandy Hook school shooting. They had to apologize to you because they accidentally showed footage of an active shooter drill. Just think about it. Almost every time there's one of these big shootings, we get this news of drills. Better yet, in the same neighborhood, the Squirrel Hill neighborhood where this synagogue shooting just happened at the beginning of this year, they had an active shooter training drill. You can read more about this. There's a number of stories. Supposedly there were 50 people that participated in the drill. The drill was at 5738 Forbes Avenue. Look at this. The synagogue is at 5898 Wilkins Avenue. From the active shooter drill on Forbes Avenue to the synagogue is 0.6 of a mile. You know, a quick walk. How many people do you think participated in the drill that now participated in the supposed tragedy? My guess is all of them. And better yet, when this news first broke of the synagogue shooting, the initial headlines were 12 people shot, 8 police, 4 others. So you have to ask, how does a man walk into a synagogue with the intent of killing Jewish people and the majority of victims shot are police officers? Is the majority of the congregation police? You know, is there a lot of active duty security at the synagogue? More police than people who actually attend? These are questions people should be asking. How can more police be shot than anyone else when a man goes into a synagogue intending to kill Jewish people? It doesn't make any sense. And these stories never do. And like we've explained 1,000 times, what all of these shootings are the police leading drills that are reported as tragedies. That's why there's zero evidence. Zero evidence, I got to repeat that, every single time they give us one of these shootings. There has never been a piece of evidence of any shooting ever happening at any of these things that have been reported in the media ever. Not a single shred. At Stoneman Douglas, what did they show you? They showed you a laptop with a sticker on the screen that was supposed to resemble a bullet hole. Just total mockery of your existence. And then they even had the audacity to show you an all-black plastic dummy, no clothes even on it, that didn't even have arms, like the kind that you use in CPR class to practice doing chest compressions, with a pool of Heinz ketchup about 3 feet from it that didn't make any sense. That was your evidence of the Stoneman Douglas shooting in the all-Jewish neighborhood, where the spokesperson was Mr. Israel. You know, and there's nothing anti-Semitic about pointing out any of this. Shootings in Jewish neighborhoods, GEmatria, Jewish practice, Freemasonry is Judaism, police invested in Freemasonry. You know, it's just stating facts. There's nothing wrong with stating facts, and people need to have facts and more information. The other thing is from this drill that happened in the same neighborhood on January 25th to the shooting October 27th. Notice it was 9 months and 3 days. Also 39 weeks and 3 days. That matters. The first victim that they put out, and if you watch the news, they continue to talk about this victim more than any other. Richard Gottfried equals 93, so does propaganda, so does Saturn. The occult Jews worship Saturn. It's the keeper of time. It's why everything about Israel's history is surrounded by the number 93, including the date its borders were drawn up, September 3rd. Date that can also be written 3/9 like 39, like the 39 books in the Old Testament. And again, 39 weeks and 3 days after the drill, 39-3-39-9-3. Synagogue equals 39, like the 39 books in the Old Testament. So does October. So anyway, it's not hard to see how they coordinated these things. Now, we're going to do some review of things we already talked about, but I also got some new information. I synced up this with the Sutherland Springs church shooting, the Dillon Storm Roof church shooting. I'm going to show you all the riddles here. All of this stuff is perfectly coordinated federal propaganda for agenda. So again, they came out and they said the shooter was 46-year-old Robert Bowers. And notice how Robert Bowers overlaps with Squirrel Hill, the neighborhood it happened in 3 of the 4 ciphers. Just in case you're new here. First cipher, dark green, alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, up to Z. The 26th letter is 26. Next cipher, alphabetic order with rules of numerology. Next cipher, reverse alphabetic order. Z is 1 back to A is 26. And the last cipher, the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. If you don't know what numerology is, it's just taking a number that's bigger than a single digit number and compressing it to a single digit. So for example, the 26th letter becomes 2 plus 6 is 8. So in this dark blue cipher, Z is 8 because it's the 26th letter. The numerology of 26 is 8. That means Y, the 25th letter, is 2 plus 5 is 7, etc. In the reverse cipher, A is the last letter. So A is 26 here. In numerology, the numerology of 26 is 8. So A becomes 8 in reverse. So hopefully you're following that. But this 74 coded into his name in the neighborhood's the big one because it's coded again and again in these false flags. Excuse me, these coincidences. Active shooter equals 74, what they refer to all of these culprits as. And this is just a big number, period. Jewish 74, Masonic 74, Killing 74, GEmatria 74, English 74, Holiday 74, Independence Day 74, 4th of July 74. They said that this man was 46 years old, the shooter. And that's a big deal because of this right here. October 7th, 2018 was a date with 75 numerology. New World Order equals 75. Order out of chaos, 75. The word order, 75. Again, on October 6th, 1940. I've covered this 1,000 times. 78 years ago. Here, I'll just pull it up just for the new person who might be here. October 6th, 1940. New World Order pledged to Jews. New York Times. That was a date with 75 numerology, of course. Media has been contrived this way for longer than newspapers have existed. Keep in mind that 1940 was 78 years ago. We're going to get to why that matters. But in light of this New World Order, order out of chaos thing, that's the Masonic motto. This happened on Shabbat, which has the same letters as Sabbath. Both words sum to 46. They're the same letters, just like chaos is 46, just like the Masonic motto for order out of chaos, written in Latin, is Ordo ab Chao, 46. They give you the 46-year-old gunman, Robert Bowers. You know. Does the name Robert also have gematria of 39? It does. You know, it's got 39. Look, Robert's a lot like October. Watch what happens when I write out October. Robert and October are the same in 3 of the 4 ciphers. Synagogue has the 39 thing going. So, you know, old Robert here, Robert Bowers, the 46-year-old. So anyway, just looking at some more headlines, it will not ruin us. Look how they emphasize that. Anytime the media emphasizes a phrase, they're communicating to you numbers that are relevant to the story. It will not ruin us, 74, Squirrel Hill, 74, Robert Bowers, active shooter, Jewish Masonic killing, gematria, you know, we just hit it. But again and again, the media is so redundant, quoting the same numbers over. With regards to the New World Order being pledged to the Jews 78 years ago in the New York Times, Genesis, the first book of the Bible, the first book of the Torah, the 78th verse is about the Tree of Life. Again, Genesis 3:2-2. And the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the Tree of Life and eat and live forever. So, Tree of Life is the name of the synagogue that got shot. Tree of Life is the physical model from Kabbalah. Kabbalah says that God created the world by merging the letter with the number. And that practice is called gematria. But notice, mass shooting 78, Genesis 78, and God said, the most popular phrase from Genesis 78. October also 78, so is order out of chaos in the base ciphers. And I just wanted to point out again, in the King James Version and in the New International Version, Genesis 3:2-2, similar but different wording for both. But despite the different wording, both verses still sum to 3:2-2 in gematria for Genesis 3:2-2, which again is the 78th verse. And remember, this very special number, the Masonic Order Skull and Bones identifies by this number. Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam sums to 3:2-2 in our base ciphers. So does ancient mystery religions, which includes Kabbalah. Judaism in satanic gematria sums to 3:2-2. In the end of the Bible, it says the synagogue of Satan, the false Jews, which would be the Jewish people that we recognize in this world who claim anti-Semitism, even though they're not even Semitic. This is how backwards things are in this world. We have these people screaming anti-Semitism, and they're not even Semitic. Look up the definition of Semitic. The people we call Jewish do not fit the definition. They also don't fit the definition of Jews from the Bible, who are people with dark skin and hair of wool. The people that we call Jews are the synagogue of Satan. 2:2:3, the reflection of 3:2:2. And the date of this shooting, 10/27/18, date with 55 numerology, like how Satan equals 55, like how this lying rabbi, very obvious liar. Like, it's not disrespectful for me to call this guy a liar. It's just you have to be a moron to not see that he's not. I mean, you have to be a moron to not see that he's lying straight to the camera. No sincerity, no emotion, reading from a script, eyes all over the place. Totally not what you would be like less than 48 hours after going through a mass tragedy. But anyway, Myers also 55. Minion of the synagogue of Satan, serving the New World Order agenda. What rhymes with new? Because that's who runs the agenda. Don't forget that Squirrel also sums to 119 and 47, since this happened in Squirrel Hill. Star of David and Orthodox, both 119 and 47. Fraternal Order of Police, the shooting right next to the police department. So here was a headline from CNN the morning of, or I guess it was the afternoon of, as they were updating the kill count. It started at 4, it went up to 8, it went up to at least 10, and then it went to 11. Remember, on the Tree of Life, there's 10 known Sephiro. There's also 11th hidden Sephiro. If you don't know the Tree of Life, look up Tree of Life Kabbalah. The 11th is the unspoken of Sephiro from the Tree of Life. But 10's the traditional number. But notice what time CNN posted this article at when they updated 322. Not an accident. CNN does that all the time with their headlines. And the reason they went through 10 before they got to 11 was for the GEmatria. 10 equals 39, like synagogue, like October. Just other comical stuff in the mainstream media. Look at this report. Breaking update. 8 confirmed killed in Tree of Life Synagogue Shabbat morning services in Squirrel Hill. 4 on the main floor and 4 in a basement where another congregation holds service. It's just comical. 4 and 4. Why do you think they did that? As we've talked about many times, shooting 44, gunfire 44, kill 44. Shooting also has GEmatria 37 in the base ciphers. This did happen on 1027, 10 plus 27, 37. Don't forget ritual equals 27. Getting this headline right here. Synagogue shooter screamed, "All Jews must die." What's that equal? 47, like Star of David, like Orthodox, like the 47 degrees on the compass in the Freemason logo, like how Elohim in Hebrew sums to 47. Like how the numerology of 47 is 4 plus 7 is 11, the master number. 11 dead. If you haven't seen the GoFundMe for this, it's approaching $1 million. Apparently, over $1 million have been sent in. Comical stuff here. Supposedly, it was a Jewish friend who set up the GoFundMe that's brought in all this money. His name is GEmatria. And I had to take a peek at GEmatria, and I said, "Oh wow, GEmatria, 129, just like synagogue. GEmatria, 57, just like Jews. Here's the good friend of the Jews, helping them raise $1 million off of a HOAX. You know, it's hard to raise $1 million. Let me tell you guys, I got one of the best written books in the history of books, and it's hardly raised any money in 7 months. These guys can just get $1 million overnight for a HOAX. Makes me sick. You guys don't know about my book, come read the reviews. I'm not the one saying it's one of the best books ever written. It's the people writing the reviews. Like, here's a review from just today. To those of us who can smell the stink of this world, to those of us who can still detect true danger and intrusion, we know behind the charade, most humans have been strategically and systematically deteriorated. This book should be seen as a ray of hope even in this world. This will go down in history as one of the greatest compositions of empirical evidence against the Novus Ordo Seclorum. Can't thank you enough, Zach. Highest respect. You know what, you guys? It's true. I mean, what I've done in this book, nobody's ever done in the world. Expose the cabal, expose the New World Order, expose the tyrants, what they've been doing step by step, day by day, and gave you the book to see into the future and where we're going and what repetitive code things will be done by. Some short review here. Best book in the history of the human race. Thank you, Zach, for this masterpiece. Book is an absolute treasure trove of knowledge. For some reason, 20-some thousand of you here, you don't want to go out and pick up this book. I told you what I'll do if you guys go out and support the book. All 20-some thousand of you, a big chunk of cash will come in. I'll open up GEmatria News Network. We'll hire some people. It'll be done in days. I'll go set up GEmatria News Network headquarters in the Squirrel Hill neighborhood. Keep an eye. We'll set up a new GEmatria News Network location in each neighborhood that each false flag goes down on from this day forward. You guys go out and support this book the way you should. So come read the reviews. Literal gold, one-of-a-kind book, worth its weight in gold. Pick it up. It's important. But anyway, as good as that book is, hasn't raised a dent of revenue in comparison to what the latest synagogue shooting drill did. So let's see. Let's keep it moving here. We got to get into some new information. From the Charleston church shooting. Remember this? Dylan Stormroof, major hoax, total psyop. Exposed it 1 million times over, written about a lot in my book. From the day of that event to this shooting, which just blows my mind. It's like, man, I've been doing this for this many days straight. And I'd started it in 2013. So it's like, God, I'm getting close to 2,000 days straight of exposing the truth. But anyway, 1,229 days later, that's the 201st prime number. Church shooting, synagogue shooting, the Holy Bible equals 201. The Jesuit order 201. Remember, the Catholic Church, most powerful religious institution in the world, the secret society within it's the Jesuits. Jesuits have a lot to do with spreading this code of letters and numbers, Kabbalah. But there it is. From a church shooting to a synagogue shooting, probably something that sparked into a lot of people's minds upon hearing this news. 1,229 days, the 201st prime. The Holy Bible 201. I don't think that's an accident. Sutherland Springs church shooting. This happened almost a year ago. This is in my book. This was the big 26 ritual. 26-year-old shooter killed 26, plus a whole lot more. It was just a massive 26 ritual on a date with a life lesson number of 26. Remember, God equals 26. Very special number. If you haven't read my book, the first chapter is Why Are There 26 Letters in the English Alphabet? I was nearly done writing it when this happened, so I had to add it in. Perfect supplement to what I was already exposing about. But from this incident, November 5th, 2017, to this latest shooting, October 27th, was 11 months and 22 days later, master numbers. Also 356 days. And made me think of this. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy equals 356. This shooting on the Sabbath day, Saturday, named after Saturn. Exodus has that GEmatria of 88, like Jewish, coded into the rabbi's name that supposedly oversaw the shooting. Christians don't worship on the Sabbath day. They worship on the day of rest. That's because of the Catholic Church. Also, from the Masontown shooting, remember we called the date of this shooting. We knew there'd be shootings in the media on September 19th. It was all about the chaos code on this day. And we got multiple shootings by the numbers. I made a bunch of phone calls that day. Go back and watch them. All the channels still up. 39 days from Masontown, PA shooting. Masontown, I just love that one. But 39 days from the Masontown shooting to the synagogue shooting, both in Pennsylvania. Synagogue 39, Masonry 39, Secrecy 39, October 39. Again, Masonry based largely in the Old Testament, the 39 books of the Old Testament. Notice also the 1 month and 9 days. Chaos equals 19. Part of the reason we knew September 19th was going to be all about the chaos. That date had 3 connections to chaos. Again, as a reminder, 19/9 for September 19th is a lot like 199. That's the 46th prime number. Chaos with the alphabetic order is 46. With the alphabetic order in numerology, it's 19. Plus, the date was 9 plus 19 plus 18, which equals 46. So 3 connections to chaos numbers in the date. That's why I said circle that date. It's due for the order out of chaos agenda. And was it ever? Masontown. Masons believe in order out of chaos. Ordo ab cow equals 46. See how it works? It's in your face. And then this, in the same state, 39 days later. No wonder the Pennsylvania governor wouldn't take my call. He knew they had another one queued up just days away. Again, just for a little more review, they put out all these victims' ages. Joyce Feinberg, 75, like the 75 date numerology, order out of chaos. Richard Gottfried, the man who was his name was put out first, talked about the most, the day leaving 65 days left in the year. Rose Mallinger, 97, like death. Jerry Ravenich, 66, like the number of books in the Bible. They put 59 and 54 ages on the same line here, not by accident, but because it sums to 113, which comes right from the Talmud, Bava Kama 113, like 113, Bava Kama 113a, that says it's okay for a Jew to lie to a Gentile or a Goyim. 84, like Masonry, like Zionism, like United States of America. Like how the divisors at 84 sum to 44 for shooting and kill. 86, another number of death and killing. Symbolic number. 71, like temple, like Talmud. 88, like Jewish, like the name of the rabbi, like Trump. 69, like false flag, like New World Order. And I'm sure there's a whole lot more behind those names. My friend Hickok, who has a new blog, 27, written out as a word, 27 decoding. He's doing a lot of decodes. He decoded all the victims' names. There's a whole lot of information there. But even the ages are enough. So then, also over the same weekend, Lou Dobbs, all of the people in the media are propaganda agents and they're all shameful people. But if we had to put them on a scale, like who's the best of the worst, Lou Dobbs would be one of the best of the worst. This guy talks at least like if there's a ratio of truth to misinformation, his ratio of truth is a lot higher than most other people in the media. So I'm not surprised that they're going after him. Plus, he's getting older. Supposedly, he had a guest on that made a comment about Soros territory. And then, of course, George Soros is Jewish. And, it was just a week ago that he got a bomb at his house that set off the whole bomb hoax scare thingy. But anyway, just more programming, even using the media. Lou Dobbs guests says Soros territory, which was just so anti Semitic. And look at how they imply all of this stuff that's not even said. I mean, if a guy comes on and says Soros territory, leave it to the Jewish media to come and say, oh, that's anti Semitic to say Soros territory, Soros occupied. Why? How do you know he's criticizing him for being a Jew? Maybe he's criticizing him for investing money in, politics and policies that he doesn't agree with. But like I've also told you guys, George Soros is this thing that's put out in the media to be demonized by a certain group of people, largely Trump followers, Alex Jones supporters. And I don't think Soros is a good guy at all. But again, I'll remind you, the people who really run the show, you don't know their names. George Soros is put out there like a target. He is part of the cabal, though, no doubt. I think he's one of their puppets. And then again, most important of all, while this synagogue shooting was going on, Israel dropped over 80 bombs on Gaza, the poor brown people of the world. Again, this was 10-27, 10 plus 27, 37, Israel 37, shooting 37, Netanyahu 37. He had just turned 69 years old, the New World Order number. Who did the New York Times pledge the New World Order to again? I forget. The guy who was responsible for that headline, he ended up dying on June 9th. In the year 54, a date with 69 numerology plus June 9th, the guy who pledged the New World Order to the Jews. You try to play nice with these people, they'll kill you anyway. Don't forget that. And speaking of Jewish, we haven't talked about Jewish gematria. Squirrel Hill equals 611. 611. If 6 was 9, huh? 11 dead, 6 injured. Does that look like 611 to you? 11 dead, 6 injured, Squirrel Hill. Must just be a coincidence. So I'm going to go out to the chat here. I'm going to see this poor guy right here. He thinks the news media is real. Have you seen this guy? He's made like 3 videos now going, God, I mean, I can't believe that somebody shot the synagogue. They're going to get us all censored. What kind of dumb idea was it? It's like, God, this guy is greener than green, dude. You can't think you're exposing Zionism and then be falling for news media propaganda and talking about it like it's real. Beware of this character right here if you even know who this is. He's promoting a lot of shills. He is trying to expose Zionism, but he doesn't have anything to add to the conversation. He's just good at taking news headlines that already exist and putting them together in nice presentations. But he's promoting every shill in the truth community. He just went to Jerusalem and magically left the day before the bombing in Gaza when he was in Palestine. Impeccable timing there, knowing to leave the day before the bombing began. I'm all sorts of suspicious about this guy. A lot of people asked him to come on because his channel's grown a lot. A year ago, he was a big Donald Trump diehard and Alex Jones follower. And now he realized that they sold him out. So now he's supposedly exposing that. But anyway, very green. And his last name is Green. And a lot of people asked him to have me on to teach him about this coding. And what's he do? He goes out and gets the shill, Marty. And he has Marty come on and bash my work. And it's like, nobody asked you to have Marty the shill on. Why did you go out and get him instead of having me on? So have caution over this guy. Looks like a total fraud. All right. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button, you guys. There should be way more likes. Good work, Marion. Marion's got the eyes to see. Somebody says it's 666 days spanning the Squirrel Hill shooting from when you found a dead squirrel on your driveway. Is that right? I'd have to go back and look at what day that happened. Because I haven't been smoking for a while, you guys, but because of my smoking thing, I forget the dates of some things. I remember the squirrel thing happened right after the house got crashed into, and I believe right before New Year's 2017, but now I can't remember exactly which day it was. I'm sure it's all documented on my blog. If that's a trip, if it's really 666 days from that squirrel being left at my house. There was a channel with this name GEmatria that made a skit on YouTube. Notice the 113. This guy here, he made a skit about me and a dead squirrel, and then the next thing you knew, there was a dead squirrel on my property. Never had a dead squirrel on my property except for when that happened. I'll go back and look at that. That's going to trip me out if it really is 666 days. So am I saying that I believe that people weren't killed? What I'm saying to you is, of course, that's what I believe. My question to you is, why would you believe the word with a lie in the middle that anyone's dead? You haven't seen a single shred of evidence. You've just seen, the typical non-emotional people in the news, a lying rabbi who couldn't be a worse liar, Chris Stevens, I don't know what you're talking about. You're not banned, dude. Just chill out. You're here. Nobody banned you. The book is not in paperback because my publisher backed out on me. There is a thing out there where I could go out in the world and I could have it printed, but I want a publisher to print it because they have more legal means behind them. My book could open the door for lawsuits if it was in a paperback format. That's why the best way to get my book right now is the format it's available in. Very affordable, 773-page book for $10. And you know what, you guys? I'm going to try something out. I'm going to try something out right now for everyone watching this live stream who has not bought my book. Watch what I'm going to do right now. Pay attention. I want you guys to get the book. Some people have been writing me saying, what did I just do here? I accidentally clicked a button. Some people have been writing and they say, Zach, I can't afford the book at $10 because it was $5 for 6 months. I raised it to $9.99 2 weeks ago. Until this video ends, I'm gonna turn on the sound effect on my phone right here. I'm gonna see if this works. Until I'm done with this live stream, I'm gonna keep the price of the book at $5, which is probably gonna be 10, 15, 20 more minutes. But hold on. I have to go in here and change the listing. And understand, every time I change this listing, I have to pay for it. So I have to pay right now to reduce the price of the book. But hold on, there's a way to do this. I'm going to make the book $5 until the end of this live stream, and then I'm going to raise it back up to $9.99. And I'm going to see if anybody goes out and gets it at $5. Because I got to get this sales number up. I got to get the sales number up to get the publishers to want to print. So this is a move right now to see if this helps generate sales. Temporary sale here. Hold on. How do I do this? Listings. Let's see. Okay. Edit. All right, you guys, I'm going to tell you when it's live, this $5 thing here. I'm going to do it right here. Whoops. $5. How do I save it? Oh, publish. Okay, you guys, so if you go to the book right now, which is linked in the description of this video, it's $5. I'm going to keep it there until we get off the live stream, the temporary $5 sale, to see if that gets some of you guys to go out there and jump. It's a gold mine at $10. It's a impossible deal to beat at $5. Chris Stevens, I don't know who you're mad at, man. Just chill out. If you bought 3 copies, that's awesome. I appreciate it. If everybody went out and bought 3 copies, we'd have GEmatria news networks all over the nation. With all the censorship, how long before you are put into the spotlight? You mean how long until I'm deleted again? That's the question. Miss Mildred says, in your book, you refer to grow a pair, but remember the comedian at grow a vagina. Much tougher. Good point, Miss Mildred. Let's see here. What happened? It skipped down, so I lost where I was in the chat. I hate that. Okay, there we go. I believe Hollywood is always behind the false flags. Who runs Hollywood? The same people who run your government and media. And Hollywood loves to mock us with their movies, with the information they put in. The predictive programming, showing us the corrupt government. I mean, how hard is it to watch a Hollywood movie without it not exposing the corrupt government? You know what I mean? Check out Matthew Harding. Okay, I'm making a note of it right now. I heard he died in a helicopter crash too. Somebody jumped on that $5 deal. They knew a deal when they saw it. It's interesting that he died like at a very close point in it's 22 years later, right? 22 men on the soccer field. He died on the 22nd. There's 2 people who know a deal. I'm just thinking about this real quick. So he was 42 years old at the time. He would have turned 43 later that year. So 42 dead in 96. Think about that. The divisors of 42 sum to 96. The word Freemason equals 42. Chelsea's a Premier League team, right? Because Premier has the gematria 42. Premier. So just on the surface, there's some things that really jump out. Here, we can even look at how many days it was from his birthday. His birthday was December 22nd. December 26, 1996. He would have turned 43 on this day. So he died a span of 67 days from his birthday, the blood sacrifice number that we see all the time. Isn't it something else? Isn't it something else? It's just the same repetitive numbers. Again, if you guys read my book, the longest chapter in it's Murder by Numbers, I show how people are killed by these same numbers again and again and again. And speaking of him dying at 42 on the 22nd, 22, the master builder number, also has that gematria 42. Numerology 22 is the master builder. The Freemasons are the master builders. Freemason 42. Notice if you write out master builder, sums to 147, just like Freemason. All very cleverly thought out. Who wants to help the book sales sound like a machine gun on my phone? I mean, you could do it right now. $5. You just can't beat that deal. I'm telling you, when this live stream's over, I'm switching it back to $9.99. This is a temporary thing as an experiment. I don't want you guys to think that the book's going to be going on sale, so to hold out for sale prices. I'm just seeing in the moment on a whim doing a little test. Let's see here. I'll do more work on that Matthew Harding. Great reminder. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, from what I understand about Soros, he is atheist. Hey, that's like a machine gun right there. 3 in a row. I'm impressed. I just hope it's not people buying the book who've already bought the book. Because there's guys out there in the world like Christos who's donating money so I can give free copies away. He's buying several books. He's subscribed on the Patreon. I feel bad that Christos has to carry so much weight. All of you who buy this book are going to get the better end of this deal. Hey, there was 2 more sales. We're getting that sort of machine gun effect, all right? I'm appreciating it. Let me see. Hey, there's another one. We're up to 8 sales since we went on sale. Maybe I'll start doing this on live streams. No, then you guys will just wait for the sale price. If you guys would have just kept buying it at $5, I would have just kept it there. I would have never raised the price. But all of a sudden, everybody stopped buying the book, and I thought, well, maybe all my critics are right, saying the price is too cheap, so people don't want to buy it. Everyone was saying if I raised the price, it would sell better. Crazy rocker, just like Richard Nixon said, if it's not on the TV, people won't believe it. So the person asking if I published on Lulu, that's an option, but then I might be open to the old lawsuits. So if I get a lawsuit, I'm screwed. I don't have the money to, fight news networks and stuff. Because that's what the publisher told me. They said, well, since you use these news headlines, all of these papers could sue you because you didn't get their permission. So, which to me seems like a bunch of BS. I said to that publisher, I said, well, what about these publishers that have taken quotes from my my blog and, used my picture and my videos and made fun of me? I said, how come they can do that, but then I can't use their headlines to expose them? And they said, well, that's just not the way it works. I don't think it's illegal to call people long noses. That's a known thing in our society for a liar. How do I buy the boom? I think you mean how do you buy the book? The way you buy the book is, okay, if you're watching this video and you scroll down, you should see right here where it says buy letters and numbers book here. And you just click that Etsy link. You click that link from Etsy. Thank you to everyone buying the book right now. You guys are impressing me. This is going better than I thought it would. And for anyone who bought the book at $9.99, don't feel like you got ripped off at all. You got a great value too. It's still at $9.99. We're just trying to do something to get the sales number up here. Our sales have been climbing way too slowly. I got to get this number up to 10,000 because I'm going to go back to that publisher. I'm going to say, what now? I got 10,000 sales. Can you put this thing in print for me? That's very nice of your son, Janie. You got a great son. Janie says her son's getting the book for her as a present. Fergie, Golden State Warriors. So Fergie has the London Bridge song, doesn't she? Oh, I'm just reading further into your thing. Yeah, you're writing the same thing there. I'm going to have to look that up. The London. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Do you guys want to know what I just realized last night doing research? Al-Qaeda was supposedly established on August 11th in history, in the year 88, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. I got to show you this. If you guys aren't following all my August 11th, 2019 work, that's the date we're looking out for. I told you guys, I want to go to Israel, and I want to go there on the megaphone, and I don't even care if I get arrested. I'm sure I'll be able to get out of jail eventually. But I want to raise awareness for what these people got planned for August 11th, because I know something's going down that day. Hold on. Look at this. Couldn't believe this. Trav pointed this out to me. Great researcher here. I had to look this up. Al-Qaeda established August 11th, 1988. And consider, again, August 11th is the day that leaves 142 days left in the year. Terrorist equals 142. It's also the 223rd day of the year. The Synagogue of Satan 223. Remember, the Al-Qaeda terrorist attack lasted an hour and 42 minutes. We know who really established Al-Qaeda, the CIA. But there's one more thing for the August 11th bank, which is a bank that's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm just amazed at how much more. I just know we're going to find out so much more stuff before we even get to August 11th. We've been on this now for a couple months, and we got an overwhelming abundance of information for why we need to look out for that day. Could I decode the Fury versus Wilder boxing match? I can do it on my Patreon. Are you signed up on Patreon? Friday Night Live decodes. That would be a perfect thing to do. $1 a month. Hey, by the way, you guys, if you want to try out my Patreon page for $1 a month, you're going to get all the daily podcasts, which start once we get over 950 subscribers. I noticed yesterday my subscriber count went down. We were at like 941 yesterday. I lost 5 people. But once we get to 950, I'm starting the daily podcast. And for $1 a month, you get to participate in Friday Night Sports Decodes Live. You get to get all the daily podcasts. And at the last Tuesday of each month, you get to participate in GEmatria school. So you get a lot for $1 a month. Trying to get a massive army of people at that dollar tier, people who don't have a lot, but you'll get a lot back for $1 a month. Ton of sports decoding, daily news stories. What I'm doing this morning, this is going to become an exclusive thing here pretty soon for my Patreon members. So you're going to want to be a $1 member. James has a question for the people not buying the book. He says, how many of you all smoke cigarettes that don't buy the book? Yeah, I'd like to know the same question. Exactly. Pack of cigarettes costs more than this book. All right, Vera said she can't afford 10. Vera, it's $5 right now. Now's the time to get it for 5. Can you read the book on Kindle? Yes. A PDF you can convert to a Kindle file. Very easy to do. A lot of people have already done it. So yes, Amber, you can read it on your Kindle. I'm pretty sure you can even just take it in PDF format and it'll read fine on your Kindle. But you can also just do a quick conversion to Kindle format. Well, Charmaine decoded the gematria of Etsy. I can't say anything about what's behind the numbers for Etsy or where they came their name from. All I know is my mom sold wreaths on there for 10 years, and they've been reliable. So, whoops, it skipped again. Thank you to the people who bought multiple copies of the book. Hey, Richard Quinn, I saw that you called me the other day. I'm sorry, man. I've been super busy. If you call me back again later today, I'll take your call, man. I didn't mean to screen you. Appreciate everyone picking up the book right now. This is encouraging. You guys are making me happy today. Maybe $5 is the price point. It was selling better at $5, but sales died out there for a while. It was just dead. There was like 2 days in a row where I sold 10 total copies at $5. I was like, really? 5 sales a day? This is not cutting it. Yeah, so you guys, I mean, in all seriousness, I said in 2013 when I began speaking out, when I stopped what I was doing, when I stopped working and just went full-time at my blog and then doing this research, and once I felt that I was comfortable enough presenting it on YouTube, I was saying then, I felt like we had about 5 years before maybe we would be at the point where it was just total censorship and we weren't going to be able to speak out about things anymore. And I really do. I mean, we see it now. I'm on my 20th channel since June of 2017. If you're new here, this is channel number, well, I'm exaggerating a little bit. I think it's channel number 17, but I mean, it's practically number 20. And had I not disappeared from March to July, because I had to work in that period of time, I'd probably be on over channel number 20 by now. But the censorship is way up. You know, Alex Jones losing his show. He's a shill. He's part of the thing. But him losing his show is just part of the overall programming and warning and signs of the times. So, you guys, we got to make a move now. Like I said last night, what I really want to do right now, my girlfriend is objected to the idea, but if you guys keep buying the book like you are now, you know, she'll come around. What I want to do right now is I want to go to this town, Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh, and I want to film a documentary. And I'll just go there by myself if I have to. I'll go around because it's all in that tight neighborhood. I'll go to the community center where they had the active shooter drill. I'll go to the synagogue. I'll go to the police station. I'll go to the governor's office. I'll say, hey, man, you're screening my phone call, so I had to fly all the way out here from Washington State to talk to you. And I'll record all this. And I've actually been doing some good research on spy cameras. I realized they have all sorts of cool spy cameras, like little pins you can wear. Cameras are so small now, pens. So all sorts of things I can put on me and just go around and anonymously record what needs to be recorded. But yeah, just things need to be done now. The word needs, this thing needs to be exposed for what it is. It's an obvious lie. It's an obvious piece of propaganda. It's The agenda is very clear. Censor the community, target people online. The things that they're saying on TV right now that the asleep zombies are letting pass about creating algorithms to target people on social media who speak about anti-Semitic topics. And then you hear them go on to say what anti-Semitism, what that definition includes. Questioning the Holocaust is anti-Semitic. To question something is now considered hate speech. Think about it. This is Orwellian. To question something that there's no evidence of is hate speech. And I hate when people start saying there's evidence it happened. No, there's not. There's zero evidence of the Holocaust. None. Zilch. Nada. Not a drop. There's evidence of internment camps, but that's not evidence of gassing and mass executions. There's none of that. There's the same evidence of deaths in Jewish concentration camps that there is in Japanese internment camps in the U.S. And that's from starvation and scurvy, a common illness, disease at that time in history. And I'm not saying what was done to the Jews who were put in camps was right. We're not saying anything like that. What we're saying is there's an agenda that's been in motion. It's waged with lies and deceit, and it's called Zionism. That's why there's the Balfour Declaration from World War I about delivering the Zionist state of Israel. It's why in my book I document all the newspaper articles over the years that said 6 million Jews were dying or had been killed or were starving in the decades before World War II. It was printed 100 times in newspapers that 6 million Jews had died or were dying. A lie told many times that didn't stick until World War II. Don't forget Auschwitz equals 113. So does Anne Frank's full name, the name from the Talmud, or the number from the Talmud, Bava Kama 113a, that says it's okay for Jews to lie to people who aren't Jewish. Elizabeth bought 2 books, one through Patreon. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I hope you're attending GEmatria school. You get a lot more on Patreon. That's another way to get the book, you guys. You can sign up at the $11 tier a month on Patreon, then you get all the content, including the book. Thanks for that book sale. We had a little quiet period there. When Joe said he turned it on, it had 88 likes and 314 watching. Him and I flipped to this screen at the same time. That's what I saw when I tuned in too. Thank you, Crystal Chick, who just bought the book. Thank you again, everyone who just bought the book. Awesome. I think we've sold quite a few now. This has been the most productive day of sales already in a long time, just from the little $5 sale here. And in case you guys just got on here, I just temporarily reduced the book to $5. I said when the live stream ends, it's going back up to $9.99, and don't expect it to come back down again. Do not. $9.99 is a steal. $5 is a super steal. Cleveland fires Lou and Hugh in consecutive days. That's the Cleveland Cavaliers coach and the Browns coach. And we've been showing how the Cleveland Browns season synced up with LeBron James. So it's just all ritual. The entire world of sports scripted together. People saying, how do you buy the book? Again, you come down to below the video where it says buy letters, numbers, book, and you click on the Etsy link. If you do that, it'll take you off this live stream, but it'll take you to the page where you can buy the book. Do you need to come in here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got to get off here in a minute, you guys. Thank you again for all the support. I'll tell you what, for 15 minutes, or you know what? You see how it's 12:34 my time? I'm on the West Coast. It's 3:34 if you're on the East Coast. I'm going to wait until 1 o'clock. That's 4 o'clock in the East time, and then I'm switching the price back. So limited time to get the book for $5. Rapper Young Greatness was just shot and killed by the numbers today. All right, that's another thing I got to look up. Young Greatness. Shot at a Waffle House. Born September 19th, dead October 29th. So I'm thinking that's 40 days later, a span of 41 days. I'm going to have to do some research on this one. Young Greatness. Who's he affiliated with? Thank you for the heads up. Did not know about that. Thanks for picking up the book, Tim. All of you asking how you can buy the book, it's linked in the description of every video. Every video I make, it's linked in the description where it says buy Letters and Numbers book here. Either that, or I think even if you go to Google now, here's another fast, or I don't want to close this window. I think if you go to Google now and you type in Letters and Numbers book, I think this will come up in your search. That's my book right there with the bright green cover. So if you click on that, it'll take you there. And it even shows you the current price. So that's one really quick way to get there. Just go to Google and type in Letters and Numbers book. Bam. Finally got enough sales that it's starting to track in search engines. Took a long time to get here. If you also just come to Etsy.com, if you're familiar with Etsy.com, my girlfriend's impressed right now. I should put the camera on her. She doesn't want to be on, but she's just smiling. She's like, oh, yeah, I like that sound. Anyway, if you come to Etsy, if I could just get there without going straight to my listing. If you come to this website and you search Letters and Numbers like that, that's another way to pull it up. And you'll see it's the one with the top rated. The top rated. I think my girlfriend's the happiest she's ever been since she dated me right now. You guys got to keep buying this book. It's making good things happen in my life here. So anyway, somebody said that they think people were actually killed in this shooting. It's possible. It's possible, but it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how he would have shot more police than people in the church. But yeah, MK Ultra's a real thing. They could have sent a real patsy in there. My buddy and I were just talking about this on a hike yesterday. These are my closing remarks before I sign off. My girlfriend's standing over my shoulder. She's ready to take her throne. She has to study. But she'd love it if you guys did another book sale while she's waiting there. But while my buddy and I were hiking, we were talking about, imagine growing up, or not imagine, just think back to growing up. You remember being in school and when you screwed up, somebody would go, that goes in your permanent file. That'll go in your permanent file. And you'd be like, my permanent file? Like, how permanent's permanent? Well, where is all of this information and incident reports and all this stuff being written about us over the years? Where does it ultimately all go? Does it just die at our elementary school or our middle school or our high school or our university? Or is it that all of these things that for most of us go to are state schools, and somewhere there's like copies being made and sent off and faxed here and there, and literally somewhere in the computer age that all of our information is being collected somewhere so they have a real psychological profile for us. So like if all of my records were connected going back to grade school, it would show that I was a rebellious little shit, like my mom used to call me, a little smartass, always in the principal's office. And I spent a lot of time there growing up because I questioned everything, and I didn't respect most adults because I thought a lot of them were dumb and didn't have any interest in occupying my time. So anyway, my point is, if there's files everywhere for us with the government, perhaps then it's also easy because all these things going in a record somewhere in a computer file that the federal government obtains in some server or something like that, perhaps then it's easy to go like, oh, here's a guy who's he's got these arrests, he's been cited for saying this. So you find this guy who's, who really hates Jews. Maybe you're keeping track of his stuff. Oh, now he's legally just gone through a divorce. He's in this he just got fired. Oh, he just got arrested again. So you find this guy who's on real shaky ground. And then, the right person comes into his life who steers him into the direction of the synagogue shooting. Is it possible that things like that are happening? It's entirely possible. What's a whole lot easier than doing all that, though, is just faking the whole thing, showing no evidence, and then following through with your agenda anyway, which is what they typically do. So, yeah, it's possible that people were really killed, but there's no evidence either way. And it's hard to say. That's why I say the point is to just identify how the agenda is being waged, what the purpose of the agenda is, how they operate. And that's why I want to go there on my own 2 feet and go to the synagogue. I want to see the damage. There should be some permanent damage there from this shooting. By the way, I also heard that lying rabbi say that synagogue had been there for 154 years. And ritual sacrifice. He used that number specifically. If you see this guy talking, he'll say the synagogue's been there for 154 years. And I don't know if it used to be an older building because the current building doesn't look 154 years old, but ritual sacrifice is 154. So, all right, you guys, 20 minutes left on the $5 book sale. However, I'm keeping track. If there's, all right, look at this. I'm going to show you where we're at. If you go, this is how you can see how many copies have sold. If you come to the listing and click where it says free to find truth, it'll show you 4,169 sales. If there are 20 more sales in the next 20 minutes, I'll keep the book $5 all of this week to see how it does again at the $5 price. But there has to be 20 more sales in the next 20 minutes. So if you do that, you'll help other people afford the book at $5. But again, I don't feel bad charging $9.99. The book's 773 pages, life-changing knowledge you can't get anywhere else. It took me 5 years to write. The book keeps selling well at $5. I'll just keep it here. Because again, I need to get the sales number up. But I also need to raise the revenue to hire people and take GEmatria News Network to the next level. So if we get to 41.89, we got 19 minutes left. I'll keep it there all week. All right, truth seekers. Appreciate all of you signing in. Staying captivated, speaking the knowledge. I'll probably be back later today with another podcast, so don't miss me too long. Till next time.